Today. Good. Again, my name's Karina Onofre, and I'm here to declare my candidacy for California State Assembly in District 74. Some have attributed my last name to the San Onofre plant, and frankly, I tell you that the only thing we have in common is the combustion. We're both explosive. Well, let me tell you that I'm thrilled to be here today. I have a passion for politics because this is really the place where leaders like myself can really make a difference and help a lot of people. So I'm in alignment with what I love to do and with what I want to do. But before I begin, let me ask you this question. How many women are here? If you could please raise your hand for me and say right here. How many women are here? Right here. A little bit louder. How many? Right here. Okay. So as you can see, even in this meeting today, us women represent the majority. However, in Sacramento, we barely have a strong voice, with 80% of the Republican men speaking for us. Now, I don't know about you, but men are definitely wired differently than women. And if left alone as a pack anywhere, whether it be in Sacramento or in a home, they just are not as organized as women. I say this from experience. When my mother goes to Mexico for a whole week, my parents' house is a mess. And when my dad leaves, it's hard to notice, I mean aesthetically at least, because when there is a woman, they regulate. And ladies, I see that there's a lot of things that are not getting done in Sacramento, in part because we need strong women representation. Not just any women, strong conservative women like myself to regulate and represent us women that are the majority in the state. That said, my platform is based on two things. And they are very, very important. Number one is creating more jobs in the state of California. And number two is improving the access to education and vocational training. When it comes to jobs, California still has the highest unemployment rate in the nation. At 8.7%, the nation's average is 7.6%. This 8.7% unemployment rate is without counting all of the people that have fallen off the grid because they're no longer accounted for, either because they're unemployed, either because their unemployment benefits are paying them better than actually getting a job, or because they can't find a decent full-time job and so settle for a part-time job, or simply because they've given up looking for a job. We no longer account for these individuals in California's unemployment rate of 8.7%, and again, unfortunately, it's the highest in the nation. But we do track them under what's called a U6 rate. And if we go by this more viable unemployment rate, then California's unemployment rate is really closer to 14.3%. And this is according to Forbes. Furthermore, this unemployment reality has also expedited the pattern of making California the nation's exodus state, losing over 3.4 million residents since 1990. Where are Californians moving to? Californians are moving everywhere in the nation. Since 2005, more people have left California than are coming to it. And all thanks to the jobs that other states have to offer, the better economic climates, the lower cost of living, and thanks to the states, lower taxes and less regulation. So the question is, why is California having so much trouble with unemployment? Well, the answer is clear and simple. Businesses are no longer interested in doing business here in California. And why? Well, according to my good friend, Dr. Art Laffer, who is a genius economist and was the economic advisor to President Ronald Reagan, Californians are leaving, just like he did a few years ago, because of high taxation and because of the excessive regulations in the business sector. No entrepreneur, free-spirited person like myself wants to be micromanaged. So businesses are leaving to other states, and people who are left without jobs are leaving right behind them. There's a report called The Great Californian Exodus, a closer look by Tom Gray and Robert Scamdalia. And it states that between 1960 and 1990, 4.2 million Americans moved to California and helped accelerate California's successfully booming economy. However, since 1990, California has lost nearly all of that gain, with a net domestic outmigration averaging about 225,000 residents that are leaving each year. So between the years 2000 and 2010, outmigration has resulted in a lost income of $5.6 billion going to Nevada, $4.96 billion going to Arizona, $4.7 billion going to Texas, and $3.85 billion going to Oregon. That study found that if this trend continues, California may find itself in a similar situation to that of New York and the states of the Midwestern Rust Belt in the last century, which have seen populations stagnate for decades and even fall. But you and I know that we don't want this for California. We want our state to thrive, to prosper, to offer opportunities, and to have a lot of jobs, to create a gold rush again of people calling California the destination for pleasure and business, and make California golden again. California is the place to be. I mean, look at the weather in the East Coast and in the Midwest. This is the place to be, and we just have to make it more business friendly to attract more people to California and improve our economy. So this will be my focus, to create more jobs in California by offering what other states have been offering and have resulted in stealing billions of Californian resources by stealing our residents, our businesses, and our money. My plan is this: to offer businesses that have left California and businesses that have never done business in California because they're afraid of our excessive regulations and taxation, to offer businesses across the nation and internationally the opportunity to come to California and open their businesses here with no corporate taxes for the next 11 years. And I said 11 years just in case another state somewhere else is offering 10 years. This means that they will still have to pay sales taxes, property taxes, and their employees will also help stimulate the economy with their earnings. But we have to empower the private sector to make a difference. That will be creating the new jobs in this state. New businesses hold the potential to provide the jobs and upward mobility for thousands of unemployed and underemployed Californians, while building a more vibrant and competitive economy for our state. I'll give you an example, and it's simple. If you have two states, A and B, and A charges corporate taxes, and B does not charge corporate taxes, businesses will go to B. And we want to be the place to be. So this is what we're going to do in California. And the most important thing of this is that we can offer this no corporate tax incentive for the next 11 years to all new businesses opening in California, which will provide thousands of new jobs for our Californians so that they can finally provide for their own families. So that's my first vision. My second vision, when it comes to education, being born and raised in Santa Ana, I'm a product of public education. I excelled in school academics, musical theater, the arts, ASB. I was president. I just had a great experience because I was fortunate enough to be pulled into the GATE program in the public education system. And that's the Gifted and Talented Education Program, since I was in second grade. But I was fortunate as well because I had caring school administrators and caring teachers that would reach out to me and send me on special youth leadership camps throughout the nation ever since I was in junior high. From K through 12, I've had multiple awards, and the most honorable one was from U.S. President George W. Bush when I was in high school. I also have a double bachelor's in economics and political science from Allegheny College in Pennsylvania. And so when it comes to education, I believe that there shouldn't be a reason why anyone in this state cannot graduate from high school and go on to either a four-year or a vocational school to learn a trade that will make everyone feel important and allowing all of us to serve as valuable assets to our state. As a successful businesswoman, I have several state licenses as an insurance broker, a real estate broker, commercial and residential property manager, construction and contractor manager, and tax franchisee of H&R Block. I manage almost 36 employees every year. And as a small, successful business owner, I am passionate about making an impact that will benefit business owners and help create more jobs in California. How many more minutes do I have? 4? Okay. So just to cover this, what makes me different from the other Republican candidates are 7 things. And just like God created the world in 7 days, there are 7 differences between myself and my 3 male opponents. The first difference, I'm a woman. The second, I'm Latina. The third, I'm fluent in Spanish. The fourth, I represent the aggressively growing ethnic minority in California. The fifth, I was a Democrat before seeing the light and becoming a Republican. So I've been there and I know what it's like and what they do, what they're thinking. Thank you. The sixth, I am not a career politician or part of the political establishment. I'm just a concerned citizen that is passionate and wants to make a difference. And the seventh is that I represent the future of the party and the American dream. Why does this matter and why should you as voters care? Well, being unlike my opponents and yet so different from my 3 male opponents, I can easily cross party lines and garner support because I can genuinely relate to both. And representing the future of the Republican Party, I can help our party grow and make our state conservative, bloody red again. I'm a woman, but not just any woman. I'm intelligent, intuitive, an alpha, and the leader. And I'm beautiful, and I'm not afraid or ashamed to say so. My parents made me that way. Some say that beautiful women don't belong in politics. Well, I'm going to prove them wrong. We have wonderful role models like Sarah Palin, and I'm going to make sure that I pave the way for more beautiful women to come into politics as leaders of this state. Again, I surround myself with people that are older and wiser than me because seasoned experience is valuable and priceless. And I'm all ears to soak up all the advice and information and wisdom, especially when it comes from the right sources. That makes sense. Like the advice I'm getting working closely with my dear friend, economist Art Laffer. And I encourage all of you here today to please reach out to me, contact me, go to my website, KarinaOnofre.com, and let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know how you think, what we need, because I'm all ears and I really want to make a difference and represent you in Sacramento. Again, my name is Karina Onofre, candidate for State Assembly in District 74, and I will need your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've got a question for you.
Sure.
Currently in the U.S. Senate, they passed, we're going to be discussing extending the unemployment. And coming from a community that has a lot of poor and people, that the unemployment benefits would be a great advantage for them. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what, I believe, thank you Tom for asking that question, it's very important especially now. But again, I believe in innovation and creativity. And I believe that people that stay home and collect unemployment are not as creative, not as innovative, not as bright and engaged in our economy. And they need the stimulation that comes from having a job. And that's why my idea of offering this incentive of no corporate taxes to new businesses for the next 11 years is phenomenal. It's going to create a lot of new jobs, and a lot of people are going to be working and becoming valuable assets to the state. And I also believe in the idea, biblical idea of it's not better to give somebody a fish, it's better to teach someone how to fish so they can feed themselves and their families.
Thank you. Excellent. Everybody should have received a card. If you'd like to ask Karina a question, we're only going to be able to take a couple, but go ahead and write those down while I ask her this next question. And Jeff, will you mind just put your card up in the air and Jeff will pick it up for us if you've got a question for Karina. Your tax plan for corporations, giving them a corporate holiday there. With a Democrat-led assembly, how are you going work with them. How are you going to get that kind of legislation passed?
Thank you, Tom. That's a great question. The unemployment affects both Republicans and Democrats. So this is a bipartisan issue. And I know that being Latina, having been a Democrat, having been born and raised in Santa Ana, having experienced the poverty, and now having become a businesswoman, successful businesswoman, I know that I can cross party lines and make sure that the Democrats on the other aisle see that this idea will make a difference, and that this idea will create jobs, and that this idea will work for California. How many of you want more jobs in California? Oh. Amen, right? Thank you. Please, a round of applause for more jobs.
Okay. Here's one. What is your position on immigration?
I support the Lincoln Club's idea of immigration reform. I think that it's long overdue, and again, this will stimulate the economy, and it only makes sense, so I support immigration reform.
Does that include amnesty for illegals?
Define what you mean.
Kelly? I wrote the question. Pardoning someone for crossing the border illegally, giving them a total pass on breaking the law. That would be the definition of amnesty.
Thank you for clarifying that, Kelly. Well, again, I'm running for California State Assembly. We have no say in the federal laws, so it all depends on what our representatives federally will vote for. But I do support immigration reform.
Okay, that's going to be it for so far. We're going to bring Karina back up at the end of the meeting. So let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you. Okay, I really thank everyone for being here tonight. I just want to clarify two things because I'm getting confused. I was born and raised in Santa Ana, so I'm not an immigrant. I'm a U.S. citizen. So that's clarification number one. The second clarification, my stance on amnesty. I support the work permit, and this is what the Lincoln Club idea of immigration reform is. That is to give people that are here, whether who are here illegally, the permit to work, and this will allow them to stimulate the economy by paying the fees that are required for driver's licenses, allowing these people to come out of the shadows and finally safely and confidently invest in the economy, purchasing cars, buying car insurance, benefiting all the other sectors of the economy, and being able to leave the United States and going back to their home countries to visit their families. Because these people are here to work. They'll do whatever job you need. And they're just here because they're looking for a better lifestyle. So I support the immigration reform set forth by the Lincoln Club, and that's not an amnesty. So I'm just clarifying that as well. Again, I thank you very much. I'm very passionate, like I was saying earlier, about politics, because this is where leaders like myself can really, really make a difference and help a lot of people. So again, I thank you very much for your time.